And we're back.
We sure are.
Yeah, I may have also only just realized this after I don't know how many weeks of looking at the screen, but Morgan's here is wearing some jorts.
They
Yeah.
are they. They are jorts.
Yeah, they got the little white frizzles.
Yeah, they got the little white frizzies.
Oh, yeah. This. Well, I mean, unsurprisingly, I would say that these are definitely like a remnant of Morgan's punk phase.
So,
Mhm.
so here's what I want to know. Between us fans and the costumer here staring at this because of course I'm so sorry, I'm a menace. Um so is it like where is the specific, because you know how like jeans work, right? Like you rip them and they've got the little stringy bits, right? Where is the bottom string attached? Because like from what I'm seeing, we have the bit that's immediately attached to the jean, and then we have a bit that's immediately underneath it, and I cannot find a connecting point. Are they just like hanging on to her thighs for dear life? Like what's happening here?
So what I think it is that it is the jorts, and then the spiky parts are the frizzles of the jorts. But the white
Right.
lines that you're seeing as like the strings, those aren't strings. Those are just the designs of her socks or stockings.
Are they? Is that
Uh,
what's happening?
that's what I'm seeing because it's like they're basically like racing stripes because you
No,
get
but
get
they
the
go
little.
over top. But they go over top of the outer seam stripe. They don't look like they're connected. They go like, if you look at the, I'm so sorry, you can't even see where my mouse is pointing, which is a damn shame. But like if you look at like the on her left, which is our right, you can see the little line that goes over on the bottom. It goes over the stripe.
Hmm?
It goes over the stripe on the outseam.
So that's why I think that's part of the jort, but then the white line there is part of the sock or the stocking. I keep saying sock.
Like the vertical stripe or the horizontal stripe?
The horizontal, the one that
Yeah,
starts
okay.
and then
That's what
starts
it
bending
goes.
down with her thigh.
But like it goes over. I need to get the artist in here.
Well,
I would
I
like
believe that
confirmation.
I believe they're still active on Blue Sky if you want to check for them.
That would be really funny. Like, hey,
with
I've got
how
a question.
with how often Nth Studios like retweets fan art and replies and stuff, I'd imagine you'd probably get an answer.
Hey, I
Yeah.
just want to know for science, as a costumer, what the fuck is that? Like, draw like a circle around it. Is that jean or is that legging? What is happening?
We'll also probably unlock concept art when we beat this, so we'll probably see like other designs of how it's supposed to look? Question mark.
Sagely nods.
I just love that we've started off strong with Schrodinger's jorts.
Hey.
Hey, episode title.
I hate that you're perfectly on par with that, Zako. I should have thought of that.
Not to be mistaken for Schrodinger's sword.
True, which means I just noticed a typo in the like episode title I have on stream. So what's that? Does it do where it's yeah? There it is. I've succinctly summed up Morgan for all of last stream. I don't care what the sword's name is. But yeah, now we're back.
I think we're starting off strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yumi Sato, medical examiner. Yumi. Sarah.
Dr. Sato, we're very grateful for your work sorting through the large number of reports related to this case.
Whew. Yeah. 5 bodies, all high priority. Had my head underwater for a good while there.
We'd prefer not to tax you with repeating every grisly detail. But if you could, would you please walk the court through the time of death for each victim and the manner in which they were determined?
Right. From the top. I need like a snap there, like from the top snap. Ankur Tan, aka Tanks, had a mishmash of street legal and chop shop mods along his forearms. None of them were particularly up to date, but they were all working, and they did monitor his heart rate. Tank's heart stopped at 9:44 p.m. The cause of death was...
Damn shame.
I'm sorry, that is so damn shame to fucking Sorry. The slug had a hollow design intended to shatter the inside of the target. There's no mistaking that he was killed by his own gun, a Mag US, from the distance of 1 to 2 meters. Next up is Seungmin Trey Trench. He also had a relatively low-end mods installed, and they show his heart stopping at 9:45 p.m. He looks so pitiful in his portrait.
He was the baby of the bunch.
He was the baby of the bunch. He died from...
Exsanguination.
Thanks. He died from exsanguination, blood loss resulting from a laceration across his neck by a sharp metal blade.
That wasn't the only injury his body sustained, though, was it?
No, it was not. Posthumously... Yeah, that was correct. Posthumously, his skull was...
Saw no evil.
Heavens, Miller smiles, received a puncture wound straight through his jugular vein. Then the blade was withdrawn, exacerbating blood loss, and he was likely unconscious within seconds of falling to the ground. Miller had mods, but had evidently gone to great lengths to remove all monitoring tech from them.
Yeah, that tracks.
And he was not found with any electronics on his person. Using purely medical means, I narrowed his time of death down to the window of 10 minutes between 9:40 and 9:50.
Even though I killed him third, he was the second to die.
That brings us to Creek.
Yes, like Tanks, Lakers Creek Kristoff was shot once with a hollow slug from the distance of 1 to 2 meters. However, the slug penetrated just beneath their solar pelvis.
Plexus.
Plexus? I can talk.
Yeah.
The slug penetrated beneath their solar plexus and failed to completely shatter when it impacted a low-end spinal brace mod. As a result, Creek didn't die immediately. It is my medical opinion that Creek would have slowly bled out over the course of about 5 minutes. Their mod did not have biomonitoring capabilities. So, like with Miller, I've done what I can to narrow down the time of death to a 10-minute window between 9:40 and 9:50 p.m.
So he was barely modded, and he stayed conscious that whole time anyway.
Well, we do have one other context clue to work with. This datapad was found very close to Creek's body, and technicians confirmed that it requires Creek's fingerprints for most functions. That means it's unlikely that anyone else would have been able to manipulate it. And we found that the last action taken on it was an attempted dark card transaction that failed at 9:44 p.m.
What could cause a dark card transaction to fail?
Either they hit cancel or the card itself was jostled, interrupting the scan.
As if the datapad was suddenly dropped.
speculation.
How much qualification does one need to understand that card readers can be finicky, Your Honor?
True enough. Chip, swipe, pin, tap. Just let me buy the damn balloon animal, you clown.
So, taking the digital evidence into account?
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing this 11-foot tall, like, robot woman accosting a clown, being like, give me the damn balloon.
I said I wanted a giraffe. Creek must have shot almost at the exact same time as Tanks.
Thank you. There's one more body you examined for this case, yes?
Officer Tariq Chopin. I didn't need to determine his time of death. As a patrol officer, he had a standard suite of police-issued biomonitors. So we know that Officer Chopin's heart stopped at 10:14:04 p.m.
Triggering an automatic 10... Oop.
Nope,
Triggering an
that's
automatic...
definitely you.
Triggering an automatic 1039 alert. Officer down.
Lighting up the crime scene like a firecracker and ensuring every cop in the city would come running. Royally pissed and safety's off.
Chopin was impaled through his back by a long, thin blade. It severed his aorta, and as a result, he died instantly.
To summarize then, we can conclude that Tanks' gun was taken from him before 9:44 p.m. He and Creek were then shot with it. Their attacker, out of ammunition, took up a sword and stabbed Miller in the throat, before slicing into Trey's neck. This individual then proceeded to posthumously crush Trey's skull by striking it so hard they shattered a baseball bat, as Creek bled to death on the floor on the other side of the room. Finally, when Officer Chopin entered the scene, they stabbed him in the back, before finally being apprehended by Officer Rogers.
That is all correct as far as we understand it.
So, now Rockford's put together the timeline.
It's probably helpful for the jury, putting it all in chronological order. But have we actually learned anything new about the culprit's actions?
We have. Emma brought her on the stand to establish the culprit's...
Starting time?
I would say that, yeah. Because
Also
they don't...
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause they have
all...
methodology.
They have methodology, and also you could just go off of where the starting position was because of where both Creek and Tank were shot.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say starting time though because we've gotten nothing but time of death for everything that they want to establish so far.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to establish a starting time of all the murders.
Wasn't that pretty obvious just from one autopsy? Tanks died first, and his mods confirmed it.
Well, yes, but the fact Tanks and Creek died first, combined with where their shooter stood, tells us in what part of the room the culprit must have started their killing spree.
It was positioned. Damn.
Mm.
Oh well. Correct. Because Creek and Tanks died first, and they were both shot from within 1 to 2 meters. We know that the culprit must have started taking action right by the desk.
And not by the door to the holding room.
Indeed.
So the likelihood of my client broke out from here
Is not very high at all.
Yes.
An abundance of DNA evidence establishes the defendant was indeed held in the other room. But clearly, he didn't remain there. His captors must have taken him out to question him in the main room. and dragged him in front of the desk where Tanks' gun would be within reach.
You're the one who's reaching.
You have evidence to the contrary?
Well, we spent an entire stream talking about his broken fucking hand.
A better explanation for how he got out of where he was being held?
Can't exactly propose that the real killer set him free. Oh, good.
I was gonna say, well, if I were to be perfectly honest with you, I did see the whole thing, so.
Oh. Can't exactly propose the real killer set him free as a scapegoat. The forensics are clear. My client was gagged and bound in that room.
Was, but clearly they had to cut him loose to question him. A mistake that ended up costing them their lives.
Unless they did it first.
Unless
they did it first. Sorry, I'm speculating this on this front because if they did it first, if they questioned him first, then bound and gagged him, which we know is the actual case, right? But like if it's the other way around, then that doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if that gets brought up at all. Do you think that's true, Sousuke?
I'm not positive, of course. But my body's telling me that I was held in that room from the time I woke up until I got myself free.
Emma's theory about the blue bloods being dumb enough to let Sousuke... Oh, there's that sinus congestion problem I was having earlier. Emma's theory about the blue bloods being dumb enough to let Sousuke near a gun isn't perfect. But it's still a theory. A game theory. I think every one of us is gonna do that like joke at least once per stream at this point.
God, yeah. Yeah, it's ritual now.
Look, if we hit 100 times, we summon MathPad, alright? It's good for views.
I'll take it.
A game notification just comes across the screen. Game theory confirmed.
Oh. I don't have jack shit to counter with because not even Sousuke knows how I let him out.
If the defense has no objections...
I have many!
Then they'll just have to take this L and meekly move on to their cross-examination. That made you sound very feeble.
You developed a habit of only using we when I'm winning. Fix it.
Damn. That made us sound very feeble.
Why do I have to get roped in?
Because, Sousuke, no one else would rope you in on anything. Emma's already established a timeline and order of events. I could pick at the details, but she's close enough to the truth already. I know the truth, firsthand, about every death except Chopin. In this case, Emma and I are on even footing. So what's my advantage? What do I know that everyone else is mistaken about?
What do I know that everyone's... Oh, murder weapons, because the knife was the one that killed Miller, not the sword.
Yep.
Which I'm surprised anyone still is going on about that with just the crazy angle it would take for a sword to stab someone in the neck like that, downward.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the murder weapons. Everyone thinks Miller was stabbed in the neck by the katana. That I'm not giving a name. I'm the only one who knows my knife was there. There's gotta be a way I can use that information to my advantage here without revealing that I have it, or how I got it. I'm walking a razor's edge here. At least it's thematically appropriate. The defense is ready to begin our cross-examination, Your Honor. Dr. Sato, you were asked to examine all 5 bodies. Did you visit the crime scene?
I did not. Have not. Photos and other ARC's data were provided to me to aid in my examination.
Surely the defense isn't objecting to a little virtual work?
Of course not! After all, had anything been added or removed from the crime scene, the ARCs would show it. There's no fooling it once it's been set up.
Let's start with blade wounds. That's the one we're immediately going for.
Victims Trey and Miller were both attacked with a blade. Exactly how fast did they die?
Trey had his throat slashed, and blood found on his hands suggests he had time to reach up to his neck in response. But he would have quickly stumbled back and collapsed onto the floor, dead. Miller wouldn't have lost much blood at the moment. His neck was punctured. For that kind of wound, the weapon acts as a stopper. But once that stopper was removed, he would have lost consciousness in mere seconds.
And while the blade was still in his neck?
If it was there for more than a second, he too would have reflexively reached up, presumably to try and grab the blade.
Is there proof he grabbed the blade? You know what? Yeah, I think that's a fair press.
Is there any evidence that he tried to grab the razor-sharp katana lodged into his neck?
Oh, yeah.
He had his own blood on his right hand, but there were no cuts on it.
Because he grabbed the knife's handle, not a sword's edge.
So it stands to reason that the blade was withdrawn very quickly. By the time his hands reached up to his neck, it must have been gone.
One of many small inconsistencies with this katana theory I can shine a light on. Will that be enough?
Oh, it changed.
I think we'll go with that one, yeah. Alright. Stabbing Miller's neck so precisely and so fast that would be quite the feat of a swordsman.
Stating a conclusion, Your Honor.
Comments withdrawn, quick as a blade.
Huh?
Have you ever seen a stab wound like that one like the one that killed Miller, inflicted by a long blade, and wielded in one hand by a man experiencing heavy blood loss?
No, I can't say that I have. Now, whether that maneuver is impressive or improbable, well, I'm a doctor, not a fencer.
And Sousuke doesn't own a rapier. Oh, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find that the stab wound on Miller's neck fit the sword that the police recovered?
Approximately.
That doesn't sound conclusive.
The entry room is slightly smaller than I would expect for a precise stab. The sword hand must have barely trembled, but it's within tolerable ranges.
Right, of the man with a broken hand running off of way too much adrenaline and already drugged. Jury, are you with me on this one here?
Furthermore, DNA on the tip of the sword is a match for Miller.
Damn it, just because I happened to drag it across where his blood had dripped.
And of course, there isn't any other implement at the scene that fits the wound better.
No, of course there isn't.
I see poke at Chopin's cause of death, because he was absolutely killed by the sword, at least. At least it's seemingly, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
we
they
can
keep
try
up
to
this
point at the
statement, yeah.
difference.
Alright. Could you speak a bit more on the manner of Officer Chopin's death?
Well, to reiterate, his body was found with the katana stuck through his back. It had punctured his heart, killing him. There was massive blood loss at the scene. At least in part because the wound in question was agitated, I suppose I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you mean?
What do you mean? Sorry, no, you got me though, that one. What do you mean by agitated?
Honestly, as though after impalement the blade was moved around inside the wound. As if it had become struck and someone was struggling to remove it.
Not to mention that Sato found his wound odd, but to hear her specifically say the blade had become stuck, that's interesting, and we hit blackjack. Thank you, Dr. Sato. I think I can speak for all of us when I say I found that very enlightening.
Woohoo! Didn't fuck it up.
Claps. Claps.
Dr. Sato, you just testified that Officer Chopin was impaled from behind. Did this occur on the spot where his body was found?
Yes, it did. The body shows no signs of being moved.
I'm curious then. What was there for the sword to get stuck on?
Huh? Well, if Chopin was in the center of the room, standing upright, I mean, it wouldn't have gotten caught on the air, right? A bone, perhaps? She doesn't
Surely
know.
Yeah, I was about to say. Surely your examination.
She doesn't know?
Yeah, I was about to say. Like, for what it sounds like, if he didn't hit the spine, it would have been a clear through and through based on heart placement.
Right,
But hey,
it should have been.
surely you examined the wound inside and out. Did you see marks on his ribcage where the blade had caught?
No, I didn't.
Only thing I can think of is that maybe the katana has like serrated edge, but like ugh.
Katanas don't have serrated edges.
I don't know. It's cyberpunk. There might be some weird shit on that.
Grips you by the shoulders.
Listen, the only way
Katanas don't have serrated edges.
the only way that they'd be doing this is they were doing a very unapropos Rurouni Kenshin fucking reference.
Or like the person who's the katana smith makes bad katanas.
Then it stands to reason that the blade didn't get caught on anything inside Mr. Chopin. This is also my favorite fucking Morgan sprite, if only just for that one bit of completely unhinged dialogue from the last episode.
It got caught on the floor.
How?
Pardon?
You need to take greater advantage of the arcs, Counselor Morgan. Learn to flip things on their head.
Listen here, you fucking bitch.
Entire rooms, if need be. If you had, you see there's a clear indentation on the floor that lines up perfectly with Mr. Chopin's wound. How did you think the tip of the sword got chipped?
You're saying the sword got stuck in the floor.
That's what the facts are saying. Do you disagree?
Yes.
Vehemently, but also, let's just talk about this. So he would have been stabbed from behind, which would have had to be an upward stab, typically for the amount of force needed to pierce the heart in the back. But you're saying a downward strike as if he came from the fucking ceiling.
Spider-Man.
Okay, give me a sec. I almost choked on something there for a second.
Actually, no, that's improbable. He's not supposed to show up for another 13 years.
And even then, he doesn't need a sword. We've seen what Miguel has to work with. Let's see here. Can we pull up the evidence? Also, I haven't looked at profiles. We should check that out later. Evidence to do. Broken badge show. It's on autopsy. Fix data. Do we have anything on the arcs itself?
So my current headcanon is that Emma just really enjoys arguing, but only on the courtroom. It's where she gets her fill.
I think Chopin's autopsy might be it.
Where was that? It was a little higher.
It was up towards the top. Makoto spots hospital findings, severe blood loss, hemorrhaging, mag rail slug. Oh no, that's Creek's.
Oops.
Chopin's was the next one.
Childhood records, amazing.
Penetrative cardiac stab wound, posterior, death was instantaneous. Notes: insight, standard issue for police department. Externally mounted biomonitor reported cardiac activity, resuscitation. Subject was stabbed and impaled from behind with a large bladed instrument, approximately 2 to 3 centimeters thick. Wound shows unusual pattern of aggravation as if blade was jostled within the wound, close forward arm. No other injuries of note.
The idea that they changed stab from impaled, like, that's where I want to know, is like, was this actually a through and through stab? Like, because that would be impaled. If he was stabbed with, like, say, Morgan's knife, that could have still hit the heart, but wouldn't have come out the other end.
So the other part of it is that it's also like a weird vernacular rule when it comes to like legal things. Like a good explanation is that stabbing is not a crime, but assault with a deadly weapon is a crime. It's one of those weird like grammatical technicalities.
Well, and places hands clasped over my desk. The other thing about the difference between a stabbing versus impaling is whether or not intent. Mm-hmm. Intent is relevant. You can have an impaling without a stabbing, right?
Yeah.
You can have a stabbing without an impaling. You can have someone quite literally drop from a roof with no, for whatever reason, and get impaled. That is not the same thing as that person being stabbed, and it wouldn't be ruled in a courtroom as that person being stabbed, even though they've been impaled. Right.
Yes, and the police report would have to say it as impaled because they can't immediately assume guilt and intent.
Yep.
But as far as this actual question, it is a little. This is our first instance of this. I would say it's safe to stay.
All right. I don't necessarily disagree. No. If Chopin was impaled, then fell face first.
It makes perfect sense for the sword to get caught in the floor as he collapsed on top of it.
So we can conclude that after being impaled, Chopin fell over with the sword still in his torso, driving the sword into the ground.
Ah, okay.
Then his attacker aggravated the wound by trying to retrieve the sword from his corpse.
Okay, so he hit the floor, big thud, sword got stuck, and then whoever did it was trying to pull it back out, I guess.
Does that sound about right? What? Are you asking me? Sort of. Asking the room, I guess.
Well, I believe I can answer. What you're describing makes sense, Dr. Sato, but only up until we consider again the fingerprints on the sword's handle. If my client really did impale Tariq Chopin and get his sword stuck doing so, why would he try to retrieve with only one hand?
Because he had to retrieve it with one hand. You yourself already elucidated that the defendant's left hand was broken when he destroyed the elevator panel in Crane Tower.
His left hand was too damaged for him to even grip a sword. That doesn't square with the pieces of evidence. This piece of evidence.
Let's take a look. Right hand prints. Blood from Chopin, Magus. Left hand. Tons of injuries, left hand, as if from a punch.
Definitely not Yoro, at least from what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Only Prince Sousuke's left hand. Is he right? Do we know if he's right or left dominant?
I believe right, but let's see.
Wrong button.
Because if he's not left dominant, how the fuck would he stay a left hand on the gun and do a clean shot? And if he's left-handed, how is he pulling out? I also just like the other thing I'm pressing X to down on is like that I'm sure hasn't come up yet and probably will is like if he's such a skilled swordsman, he would know how to remove it without having to jostle it.
So we confirmed there that he broke his left hand with the smashing of the panel. What did the previous dialogue say?
Oh, 1 second. 2.
Yourself or lose the left hand was broken when you destroyed elevator 4. His left hand was too damaged for him to even grip a sword. Oh, right. Okay, so we're saying that he couldn't have gripped it with his left hand, so he had to grip it with his right.
Which has his handprints. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than your left hand broken as if from a punch. I'm pretty sure we use Yodu.
Alright. I'm gonna lower this point for so unsure.
Yeah, fairs.
The katana alone repeats your point. Oh.
How so? Ah, damn. Okay. Not that one.
Glad I lowered the back. I think it has
That's
to
why
be
I
his
was
med reports
pointing
then.
out the gun, because the gun says that his prints were the left hand. He wouldn't have been able
Okay,
to
yeah,
shoot
we could
it
try
if he
the...
rip it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we could try the gun this time.
And I will raise the bet so let's try the safest one.
Sorry, I just...
There we go. The Magus.
Yeah, you How could my client's left hand be too damaged to grip his sword, and yet was also capable of gripping the Mag US?
Okay, I see what she... Okay, I see what she was saying, that, yeah. Sorry, my train of thought lost me, but I see what they were trying to do. I'm just having trouble putting in the words. I can look at it later.
Mm-hmm.
That oddity is hardly impossible to explain. We've already determined that the Magus was fired twice before the sword was used at all. Firing such a weapon with a broken hand surely rendered his left hand useless.
Ugh, that's...
It is difficult to wield a sword with a damaged hand, isn't it, Sousuke?
Historically, even with the loss of pinky on your non-dominant hand was considered enough to render you relatively defenseless.
Is that why Yakuza would offer to cut off fingers as recompense for offenses?
That's right, sir. In fact...
Cut the chatter and save the history lesson. He had to pull the sword loose with one hand because his left was useless. Looking at the forensics pulled from the katana, that's... Your Honor, the people claim that my client had to use one hand to retrieve his sword because his other hand was disabled. But does the evidence actually suggest that?
What do you mean?
Forensics performed on the katana found my client's right-handed fingerprints on the handle. But what grip are the prints a match for?
Let me just give it a quick think here as I meticulously analyze the position of each finger. A normal grip. The grip is normal.
Do you mean to say that the thumb is facing towards the blade, Your Honor?
Well, yeah. But isn't it easier to just say, he held it like normal?
Yes, Your Honor, exactly. Very concise. If my client only held the sword with his right hand normally, Your Honor, that mean he held the handle like that even as he tried to jostle the blade free from the floor as it was impaled in.
Which is far from impossible. But if, Your Honor, the court has questions about exactly how the defendant was positioned when he was found standing above Officer Chopin's corpse, I believe the people's next witness will be able to answer all of them.
That can only mean if it's finally time to face off with the arresting officer.
Chopin's partner.
Very well. Let us summon to the stand. Null, name not found.
What?
What?
Is that a family or a given name?
What?
Yeah, I got one big ol' error right here, and it's a classic. Witness not found. Literally. He ain't here.
Oh my god, he no-showed? What? He's had hours to get here. What the hell could he possibly be?
Her star witness is a no-show.
Is this good news or bad news?
Like hitting the jackpot on the world's sketchiest slot machine. Feels good, but you get the feeling that the staff is going to make you pay for it.
Idiotic.
I love that sprite. Pay for it when?
Fine, I'll finish it myself.
Right about now.
Perhaps it's for the best then, Your Honor. We can save the court the trouble while you're wrapping up things here and now. The facts are simple, and the defense has failed to refute them. Thus, the people call for summary judgment.
This is not a good look, Emma, for just, summoning a witness and be like, no, we don't need him anymore. Scratch that. Already?
The defendant is the only one with his prints on the gun. He is the only one with his prints on the katana. His own employer testified to this court that he was attacked and captured by 4 of the 5 victims. He was found and arrested standing over the body of a dead cop, before 2 more officers arrived and secured the scene.
That's not really a great way to paint that, because I just want to point out to the jury, yeah, how would you feel if you just randomly found a dead cop and everyone assumed you killed him? Especially considering how much everyone loves cops. That must be Reyes in London she's referring to.
As the only living person left at the scene of the crime, there was no one else who could have committed these murders.
She's on a tear, and I'd be lying if I said it wasn't entertaining. But it's only because she's on tilt. She was thrown off by her witness flaking, and it's caused her to overstep. Just
Man,
fired
Emma
off
would
a
be
lot.
horrible at pinball.
She just fired off a lot of claims in quick succession, which is the weakest one. Which is the weakest one? Where do I counterattack?
DNA evidence?
There's a lot of DNA there.
Well, the big thing she was pointing at was all the things, because what Evan was saying was that literally only Sousuke's DNA is on everything. It was all on all the weapons, all the other witnesses' fingerprints weren't on anything. But what's the one thing that has no fingerprints at all on it?
So that'd be Chopin's corpse.
I think Morgan's trying to point at, well, why doesn't the dark card has his prints?
Oh yeah, that'll be fair. DNA evidence we've seen so far is...
Ah, shit.
Okay.
Never mind. My bad. Only suspect, I guess?
True, because there's a dark card there that no one else can account for.
Right. Okay, I think I jumped the gun on that one. Moppy.
You're fine. She's claimed that Sousuke is the only one who could have committed these murders. She can't possibly prove that. She can't prove that there wasn't anyone else there that night because I actually was. Unlike her, I can prove the possibility of another party being present without having to reveal their identity. The people are mistaken, Your Honor. My client wasn't the only other person there that night. And there's evidence to show it. Where are you? There we are.
There it is.
Okay, so the only one can put us over here. So, boop, boop, boop.
Yep. What is that? The dark card found logged in the Creek's datapad?
That's right. The perfect payment option when neither you nor the business you frequent like attaching names to faces. We've already discussed that within moments of Creek's death, a transaction was being attempted on his datapad. A transaction made using this dark card. But whatever for? Perhaps some of the handful of illicit substances that were found at that scene of the crime.
Oh, yeah. Oh, crap. Yeah. Almost forgot. These guys were drug dealers.
And drug dealers get customers, Your Honor. Customers that can be very temperamental when things go south.
Are you trying to suggest that these killings were the result of a drug deal gone wrong?
I mean, they sort of were.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
A drug deal made in person at a blue blood stronghold.
Dark cards require a passkey and a fingerprint. The card would be useless if its owner wasn't physically present for the transaction. A transaction that might be abruptly canceled if tensions boiled over.
A potential buyer would likely have been across the desk from Creek.
The same spot in the room that we've established that the killer must have started their rampage.
Cute idea, counselor, but there's no meat to it. We know that Creek was using that datapad before he died. And we know that the dark card was processing a transaction at the time. But for some reason, you made the assumption that he was selling. When the simplest explanation is that he was buying. Using the dark card that he owned.
The dark card belonged to Creek.
How will you respond?
I don't need to respond with evidence. I just need to point out the flawed evidence that she's constructed her argument upon. Which I believe would be our boy Creek here.
I think it would be the dark card.
Oh yeah.
Because if he was using it, it's wiped of all prints.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was right. I just jumped the gun earlier.
Characterization, Your Honor. The people that claim the dark card and the evidence recorded belong to the victim Creek. Despite the fact it has no fingerprints on it.
Oh, finally, we got Morgan's theme. What?
If that dark card had belonged to Creek, he would have had to insert it into his datapad with his teeth.
Yeah. So who did the dark card belong to?
Perhaps a customer who didn't like his prices.
A disgruntled customer could have wiped their prints off the card to hide the fact they were ever here.
That's absurd. If a customer bought the dark card with them to the crime scene, why the hell wouldn't they take it with them when they left?
It was stuck in the datapad.
They could have pulled a little harder. They could have taken the datapad with them.
But they didn't.
Who would leave behind something that valuable?
The card is worthless to everyone but its owner.
To whom it could be priceless. Why would they choose to leave it behind?
The answer to that is simple. If I'm honest. We're discussing the possibility of a deal gone south. What could cause that in the first place?
Aggressive negotiating tactics.
Or a customer who couldn't pay.
What are you... This customer could afford a dark card.
And yet, they couldn't pay.
Hold on. You're trying to say all these deaths, all this carnage. You think it's all because their card got declined?
Yep.
Hard to live down that kind of faux pas.
Sorry, my card got declined at the register. My social anxiety kicked in, and I just had to kill everybody.
Yep.
Real.
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining this, but only at like a grocery store.
No, but like there is something very real about like, yep, we're here. Of course this would happen today. Can I just die now, please? Like that. No, yeah.
Wait, no, I got it. It was Chopin. Chopin was trying to buy the drugs. His card got declined, got the social anxiety, and took the kill everyone in the room, and then myself, literally.
Murdering 4 or 5 people in order to skip paying your bill is pretty aggressive. But if you need your fix, was there any indication that contraband was taken from the scene of the crime?
Your Honor, that is difficult to say. Without knowing their inventory before the crime occurred, we cannot rule out the possibility.
That was a little lackluster of a pushback. Is she really that thrown off by this witness playing hooky?
Have you seen Emma? She looks like if she woke up in the morning and saw one of her shoes wasn't in the place she left it, she would freak out.
You know what she looks like? A really tired PhD student.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Where the fuck are my keys?
Yeah, no. It's also... What we're seeing is that she constantly regresses back to her time in law school.
Probably.
Oh, whoop, missed that.
Oh,
I guess I don't need lines. Who am I to start talking? Huh? But it does seem like I have to declare a recess while we wait.
Perfectly reasonable, Your Honor.
That's the most romantic thing I've ever heard.
What?
Court is now in recess.
80, what is your version of flirting?
Sarah, did I just get hit on by a robot? You're the best person to reference this for.
So, Aria Holdings is not part of House Ikaria?
No, it is. House Ikaria is comprised of the literal Ikaria family, the Ikaria Financial Group, and Aria Holdings. But each of those parts is a separate identity from the others.
That's very confusing.
Have you ever heard of a shell game, Sarah?
A what?
No, it's, well, it can be confusing, but it protects us.
Part of me wants to believe that, like, Morgan would 100% teach, like, Sarah a shell game, if only just to see if Morgan could beat her eyes.
Protects the IFG?
No, protects the house from itself.
If everyone in the Akadia family was a member of the IFG and the IFG was called the Akadia family, that'd be much simpler.
I know it would be simpler, but that's...
Who the hell is this guy to keep Rockford waiting?
Are you addressing your question to me? I've never met the man.
Well, he's met you, smacked you upside the head, and cuffed you.
If you say so. I told you I don't remember anything after I walked out of that holding room.
Chime in at any time.
Apologies. I was just trying to answer your question. Who the hell is Officer Rogers?
You find his socials or something?
I found a news story attached to a live feed.
Also, I did find his LinkedIn. Terrible, terrible references. I was trying to go for a Linktree joke, but that ended up being funnier.
No, that was good. He's shaking hands with some men at the top of the stairs. Some stairs.
Right now, what's the headline?
City council members thank heroic officer for his service.
God, he skipped his court date to get a medal from the city.
He sure fucking
Oh,
did.
yeah. Oh, well, that makes sense.
How can it?
Emma's outranked. If the politicians decide now was the time to do a photo op, she doesn't have the pull to go against them.
Are Officer Chopin's parents there?
Yeah. Both of his fathers were present.
Adoptive fathers.
Are you trying to make me feel better? Adoptive or not, they are his parents, and their pain is real.
Of course. But that pain would be equally real if they weren't expressing it in front of those cameras, don't you think? If you're feeling guilty, Sousuke, please get it out of your system before the trial resumes.
I don't feel guilty. Even if I did kill that officer, I wouldn't lose sleep over it. But that doesn't make it right.
How do I tell you? He's painfully Japanese. Taking a life?
Parents having to outlive their children.
And here I thought you'd be all about filial piety. You telling me you wouldn't take a bullet for your patriarch Daisuke?
Of course I would.
And force him to outlive his son? How could you?
Adopted son from a branch family.
Do I need to point out how badly you're contradicting yourself?
Morgan just taking, like, Japanese honor values and just taking a sledgehammer to it.
He's literally just sitting there like, Your hierarchy? Nah. Oh, your morals? Nah. Oh, your humility? Nah. Your Tatashakai? Nah.
Yeah, no. You kept throwing that sword thing in my face, so I'm gonna throw this in yours. Every chance.
Daisuke Ikaria could have let me waste away when the rest of the Hayakawa branch was killed. Instead, he placed me at the right hand of power, a seat of honor.
A subservient seat.
All seats are subservient.
Not the one at the top.
I didn't know the rest of your birth family died, Sousuke.
Retaliation for the fall of the leaves.
Quite the dignified way to refer to the Ikaria killing all those blue bloods 30 years ago. Anyway, it was my understanding that that was a complete and total victory. The kind that left blue bloods incapable of counterattacking.
Very nearly so.
Do you disapprove of what happened 30 years ago, Sousuke?
Of course not. The barbarity of the house's enemies left it with no other choice but to act.
No way out, huh? By the way, I was asked to pass along a message to you. If you're given a way out, take it.
Who told you that? It was Mirai, but Morgan doesn't really have a reason to hide it, and Mirai didn't really be secretive about it besides who she was.
Correct.
I also feel like if we didn't tell him it was Mirai, he wouldn't listen to a fucking word we said.
Right.
Yeah.
She said her name was Mirai. Who is she?
A powerful member of the house on the side of Arya.
Slow down, loose lips. I didn't ask for her whole life story.
What? Oh, sarcasm. Sorry, I'm just surprised. Surprised that she would take personal interest in the outcome of this affair.
So did that message mean anything to you? Sousuke? Sousuke, please tell me that... Sousuke, please tell me seppuku is not on your mind.
I'm not sure.
You're a terrifically helpful client, you know that?
There's something you should know about me, Morgan.
I also just now want more...
is.
Yeah, well, no, like, for that last line from Morgan, I just want her to lean down to, like, Sarah and be like, okay, Sarah, I take back 40% of the mean things I said to you during the last case.
About the Hound of Ikaria. I didn't earn that title as a bodyguard or a head of security.
Sousuke, we are in the middle of a courtroom full of cameras. You should not be saying this. As your lawyer, this is specific advice you have hired me to give you.
And I didn't learn how to kill in the military.
Sousuke, the fuck!
The Hound of Icaria is the house's personal assassin.
Speculation! What happened to the House of Icaria being refined? Elevated above their criminal past.
The house is elevated. That status granted it more enemies than ever. Enemies that need to be taken out silently, but undeniably.
Undeniably.
What I do is send messages. They need to be received by the right people, and they need to know who it's from.
Also, for this one, this music has been a little bit higher than usual, so I'm going to start lowering it down just a little bit.
Oh, that's
No
the master
power.
volume. That's everything.
Okay, there it is. There we go.
No music, only awkward silence.
I read this one.
Okay. You kill so that the other houses in the nobility know it was the Hound.
But can't prove that House Icaria was responsible. Their own pride over being able to handle things internally and their humiliation of being outplayed ensures the deaths stay out of the papers.
So the entire police force can descend on a jaywalker caught by a reflection off a dash cam. But the nobility gets to wave off the surveillance state with a perfumed handkerchief. Flaunting how the rules don't apply to them. Like I thought, a very pure expression of power. So all that talk about being Makoto's head of security, that was all...
Oh, true. I have been Makoto's head of security for the past year.
Did your courier business dry up?
Circumstances around Makoto had changed. I was asked to step in and fill a role.
And what you said about guarding the previous heir? Waving your katana around as soon as you could walk?
The circumstances were different then, too.
Why tell me now?
Because now that I've seen her, I don't think Rockford will have missed it.
No, why didn't you tell me yesterday, the first time we met, when I could have actually prepared for this? Clearly, you've got some deeply held desire to rot in prison since you won't help me win this case. But what happened in the last 5 minutes that you've suddenly got cold feet?
Yesterday, I thought you were just some outsider in over their head who would surely drown if they knew who they were defending. Today, I think you're an outsider in over their head who could stay afloat with a lifeline.
I'm gonna kill him. Thanks for the heads up. 5 minutes notice really comes in handy when your client asks you to catch a bullet. Excuse me!
I'm sorry to disappoint you too, Sarah. I can't imagine you're pleased to be defending a self-confessed killer.
I don't know what you went through when you were a soldier. And I have no idea what you've gone through as an assassin. Yesterday, Morgan suggested I shouldn't speak about those kinds of things, since I have no experience with them. I don't know if she's right about that. But soldiers and assassins do exist in this world. And they are still people.
You see, I started this game called No More Heroes.
I think I would be sad if I couldn't talk to any of them. On a related note, you. Catch a bullet, Sousuke Karia?
No, Sarah.
I just want her, like, to just dead ass in his eyes. Skill issue.
But you're cybernetically enhanced. You're a cybernetically enhanced martial artist.
Bullets are very fast.
That is true. Skill issue.
Thank you, Sarah.
I could probably catch an arrow if I knew it was coming.
Tell me more.
Okay, I very much love Sarah bouncing off of our different clients now. This is going to be a thing for the rest of the series.
So you and your partner were the second officers to arrive at the scene?
That's correct, ma'am. When the 10... Is that
3-9.
a 999 went out? My partner and I were relatively center city. We were within jogging distance of the site after an elevator ride, so we proceeded on foot.
Roger still isn't shown. Emma must have rushed to London to adjust her reshuffled docket. I assumed he was rushed. He does seem somewhat distracted.
We arrived on the premises at 10:21 p.m. At 10:27 p.m., we assisted Officer Rogers in completing his arrest of the subject.
What did that involve? Reading rights to an unconscious man?
That's a good bit. We helped Rogers finish cutting the suspect. If I can talk, it's fine. No, it's fine. Let me try it one more time.
Sure thing.
We helped Rogers finish cuffing the suspect, is what I meant. His hands were shaking.
You're a witness, counselor.
I'd like to add... Now I've got it. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, let's try this again.
Okay,
Ahem. I hope not. I've already got one head cold. I'd like to ask London why he wasn't explicit about all of this yesterday. But complaining about a detective not being forthcoming with the defense isn't exactly a winning strategy. Also, he's a cop, so he wouldn't say anything unless under subpoena. He didn't hesitate to show me his involvement with the Mafia yesterday. What's he got left to hide?
Let's do while you were nearby. I don't know.
Why were you and your partner in Center City that night, Detective?
Well, to be honest, I hadn't eaten dinner yet, and I was really in the mood for some hot soup, you know? That is such the... Like, this is so in character, it's killing me. And my partner was kind enough to indulge me on taking a drive.
That's all he's gonna say? It's not like I can call him a compromised witness just because he was in the area, but... What the hell is there even to press when the answer's that simple? I'm almost tempted to. What kind of soup? Oh, was the soup good?
Was the soup good?
Okay, fuck it. I don't care if we lose chips. We gotta do it.
Yeah, let me just check out what our
soup,
chip
was
count
it
is at.
good soup? Was it good soup?
We got 98 chips. We can afford it.
Was the soup any good?
Like I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, finish.
I was gonna say, I always feel like if they set you up with that and they don't let you do it, that's criminal. That's just mean. Like, you're gonna sit there, you're gonna dangle it in front of your players, like, ask him if it was good soup, and then, like, off penalty, you asked him if it was good soup.
You
Yeah,
put the
here's
joke button in front of us, we're gonna push it.
But no, also knowing these devs, like how we've gotten to know them, are they setting us up for a soup store bit?
Somebody hand this son bitch a beer around.
Soup store detective.
Also, thank you for the resub, Robot, with the mittens. Oh, we hear
Kitty.
Dex.
Sorry.
You're good.
All good, all good.
Ticked off kitty. She hopped on my lap, I started brushing her, and now she's mad.
Ah.
I never got any in the end.
Ah, dang it.
Had this hole-in-the-wall place in mind, but when we got there, turned out they'd gone out of business last month. It had been a while since I'd last stopped by. I guess I always knew they weren't that successful, but I thought, honestly, I thought it'd lose some of its charm if it got popular. Maybe if I hadn't been so selfish, they'd still be here.
I did not realize we would have hipster guilt from London this episode.
Why-
Crying.
Why does the
Crying.
why does the soup store have so much lore?
Oh, who hurt you, game developers, and why was it soup related?
You never know how much you'll miss that 7 out of 10 restaurant until it's gone, you know?
Yeah.
Your Honor, relevance?
It's not relevant, but it is poignant and deeply human. I'll allow it! Or I won't punish it, at least. Now ask a real question.
Let's go.
Right away, Your Honor. Okay. Thank you, devs. Thank you. Oh, wow. Oh, also, hey, Jake. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see here. All right, so I think clearing the building wouldn't do much because, from what we know, most people would have already left at this, like, murder. I think body cams probably are where our money is.
Yeah, let's go there.
Dumb question, detective, but did you have your body camera on?
Officers aren't required to turn on body cameras when responding to an emergency, counselor.
Seems like you really wouldn't need them if that was the case. But considering they're a fact, I think that's a huge oversight. But then again, cops, am I right? Everyone just turns the entire courtroom.
And detectives aren't required to wear body cameras at all.
Cops, am I right, everyone? Like I said, dumb question.
Oh, yeah, that's a good press because Reyes is the exact kind of by-the-rules stick in the mud who absolutely would have her cam on.
True, and also possibly just would have taken off her her eye patch if it was a dangerous situation that her mod could help. But by any chance, did your partner have a body camera going? Perhaps out of characteristic abundance of respect for the rules?
Matter of fact, I believe she did.
So, for the first 4 of our city's brave policemen to arrive at the scene of the crime... So, of the first 4 of our city's brave policemen to arrive at the scene of the crime, only one of them thought to turn on their body cam.
It is my understanding that Rogers couldn't turn his on. It had broken earlier in the week.
God.
And Tariq Chopin?
I don't know why he didn't have his on.
Does Emma know? Does Officer Rogers?
I think clear the building would be the next good
Yeah.
one.
I mean, it's our last option, so let's go. And how'd you and your partner go about clearing the building?
I took point and my partner covered me, checking the rooms behind us as we went. It was tense, searching the rooms with that racket blaring from upstairs.
You were still searching for suspects even though there was a 1039 on the 3rd floor?
Rogers had already reported the manner of his partner's death, counselor. We weren't gonna run upstairs to try to defibrillate.
How was that report made?
Over comms, around 10:17 p.m.
Is it common practice to separate from one another when responding to a 1039?
It's one of several valid approaches the department advises in critical scenarios.
Yeah, I think we had to press since our other questions didn't change.
Alright. Did you ever lose sight of your partner?
I might have.
So, she might have lost sight of you.
Speculation, Your Honor?
If I can't see you, you can't see me. That's not speculation, Your Honor. You're just grade school logic.
Overruled.
I'm so glad that we gave you the character that has the closest to an ooh-woo.
Spill the deets, witness. Yes, me and my partner were separated as we cleared the building. For more than a minute, I'd say.
Interesting. Thank you for giving us all that to chew on, Detective London.
Come on, give me a break.
You can't chew on soup.
I was trying to be helpful.
I'm sorry, Detective London, but are you forgetting chowder? No, I mean it. I'm especially interested to hear you describe how my client was unconscious and helpless by the time he first appeared on any body cam. Shall we review the footage together? I wonder if we can pinpoint exactly how many wounds he received between his arrest and when his mugshot was taken.
Redirect, Your Honor?
Really?
What is she doing now?
The prosecution called Detective London as their witness and asked their questions. Morgan just had the chance to ask her own questions during the cross-examination. After the cross-examination, the people can redirect if they have additional questions for the witness.
So it isn't just one for them, one for us?
More like an eye for an eye until justice is blind and bloody. Honestly, I actually more murdered that metaphor than needed. She wants another round. Why? Just stalling?
Detective London, are you aware of an ongoing police investigation for a figure known as the Hound of Ikaria? Oh, she's going straight for the throat.
Not stalling! Approach, Your Honor!
All good.
Wait, do I finally get to say the line? Hold on. This is happening too fast. Okay. Oh? So you're a pro and they're already here.
It was funny in the first game. It was funny in the first game. Can't do the same joke twice.
This Hound of Icaria is obviously some kind of case file that the Organized Crime Department is working on. Detective London isn't qualified to speak on it.
Homicide? Organized crimes? Is there that big a difference?
Depends on the career of the witness in question. Detective London, for example, spent 6 years in the Organized Crimes Unit.
That's why he's on the take.
Yeah.
He what?
You didn't know that.
Where are you taking this, Emma?
I hate to admit it, but I think I need spoilers as well. If you ask him about this, what's he gonna say?
That the Hound of Icaria is an assassin who leaves calling cards at each of his kills, terrorizing the house's perceived enemies without shame. And that the lead suspect in those cases is a man around Sousuke's age and height, with gray-blue hair, a modded spine, and a large tattoo of a dog across his back.
Sousuke, you vain son of a bitch! You got me with your shirt off!
Yeah. Bless you.
You cannot let the jury hear that, Your Honor.
But I really want to.
If organized crimes wanted to arrest Sousuke, they should have done so already. He's on trial here today for these 5 counts and nothing else.
The defense has once again claimed that their client is merely some veteran who's been victimized by greater forces. But the police believe that he is in fact the deadliest soldier the Icaria have at their disposal. That's not irrelevant.
No, it's just prejudicial as hell.
Girls fighting. But obeying the legal precedent. But the tension, the human drama.
He'll just be given a summary. The case file won't enter the record.
So you won't give me the chance to object to the evidence. Your Honor, if we do this, the jury will be spoiled within seconds, and I'll have my client served a mistrial before the day's through.
And some other lucky adjutant will get to have all the rest of the fun. I've severed the jury's feed for the time being. I'd like to hear exactly what the witness has to say before ruling on this testimony's inclusion.
But Your Honor, the gallery...
It's not your concern, nor a concern of justice. This trial will remain open to the public until such time as I, or the state, feel it shouldn't be. Decision made.
Thank you, Your Honor. What just happened?
The jury's gonna take a bathroom break. Emma will get to ask her questions, but... in all likelihood, the adjutant will make sure they never hear the answers.
So, we aren't any worse off?
Sousuke might be.
What do you mean?
This gallery's filled to the brim with cops. They all think he killed Chopin. If London regales us with tales of the Hound's exploits on top of that...
Don't worry, Sousuke. They can't do anything to you here.
Because we're in a courtroom. I won't spend the rest of my life in this room, Sarah. And even if I could, I wouldn't.
Okay, Sousuke, we've gotten over this, but I need you to turn your martyr complex down from an 11 to a 2.
Detective London, if you would, please testify as to the...
Oh, for real?
Your Honor?
What now? Hey, Rockford. That witness guy who flaked on you made you look dumb?
Yes?
He's here. He's finally here.
Hmm? Thank you, Your Honor. I have no more questions for the witness at this time.
Really? The redirect fizzles out. Counselor, you want to snap it up?
No, Your Honor.
Dang. Detective London. Nobody wants to talk to your ass. Miss Rockford, let it go.
She doesn't hold anything back in the courtroom, but only because that's what gives her the greatest chance of victory. If the jury wouldn't hear it either way, she has no need to stall for time. She won't stoke the coals for the fun of it.
So, if you hadn't fought against that redirect up to the very last moment...
Bullet caught, huh?
Yeah, nothing impressive about putting my arm between the gun and my...
Heart?
I was gonna say stomach.
The analogy seems weaker somehow.
Sarah, look up septic gunshot wounds and then tell me I'm wrong. A lot of dead cowboys would argue with you.
There he is.
The man of the hour. The hero who put a stop to the Hound of Icaria and brought justice to the city over the loss of its favorite son, Tariq Chopin.
Oh my god.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, okay.
Patrol Officer Rogers reporting for duty.
He's at least marginally better than the other cop that gets called to the stand in games like this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to say that. Sorry then, just, reporting for duty. Name and occupation? Patrol Officer Huey Rogers. Occupation, Patrol Officer. Former partner of Tariq Chopin.
For once, I very badly want to see what this guy's profile is. Where are you? Come on.
He's at the top. That's where all the new stuff is.
There he is.
He looks pathetic.
I love him.
Just like sand.
Salt,
Good.
like saltwater, rosemary, and graffiti art. Can't stand mice, and his balance is very easily upset.
Yeah, I would say most of him seems easily upset.
Apologies for earlier. It's fine. The court understands the city council had need of you. When I said my name wrong, won't happen again. And your tardiness? What's that? Being hours late to this trial? Did I not set a reminder?
Emma, I'm not sure if you can hear me from over here, but this is your penance for everything I've been through over the last 2 games.
the flesh jog your memory at all?
No, not at all.
I feel like if I saw him, I would know the full energy of a wet scrimbo. I think this guy would be pretty hard to forget.
He must have sustained quite the concussion then.
As an appetizer. From what I saw, he's lucky nothing important leaked out of his ears.
Shall we begin, Officer Rogers? Right, from where? The start. Oh. Well, it was a pretty boring, normal night. Me and Chopin were driving our route, windows down. He's always getting car sick if the windows weren't down. And around 9:45 or so, my partner heard shots fired. So off we went. What does that mean? Well, I mean, the shots echo down in the lower ward, so I wasn't too sure about the direction. But my partner was confident that it had been something to do with the Blue Bloods. The area is a known hotspot. As we neared the street, we saw people slinking away from it. We got the message. People can sense that kind of trouble even when they don't know it. Something bad had gone down and no one wanted anything to do with it. Front door wouldn't budge. I peeked around the alley, but the fire escape was out of commission. And my partner, he shot clean through the door handle.
Chopin was that determined to get inside based on some echoed gunshots and a few context clues. Suppose context clues are most of what I use to find the place too, but...
So when you arrived, the only way into the building was locked. Yeah, so we had, strong reason to believe the shooter was still in the vicinity. I was in favor of waiting for backup at this point, but my partner, he was convinced the place was dead empty already. So he was moving to a good bit faster than me, right up until we got to the second floor, and... we heard a loud slam.
A slam?
What kind of slam?
Like, slam? Or like, slam. Or like, slam.
I don't know. It was loud, though. And Chopin gets all deadly serious and insists I stay, and he goes on ahead.
I want to just believe this guy's name isn't actually Huey Rogers, it's just Joe Normal.
Up to the third floor. After a bit, he yelled down to me, saying everyone was dead, and I should come join him. That's when I heard another heavy thud. I didn't know it was the sound of my partner's body hitting the floor. But I put two and two together when I saw that man there, standing over him. Let the record show the defendant had... oh, excuse me. Let the record show that the witness has finally identified the defendant.
If you heard a noise at a crime scene, the natural conclusion would be that you were not alone.
But if Chopin thought they weren't alone... why would he insist on splitting up?
I think to search quickly. Because now it's starting to sound very suspicious.
Or prevent escape. Because if they weren't sure if they were alone, the best idea for cops splitting up is making sure, okay,
Yeah.
who else is still here?
Yeah, exactly.
You're right on it. That's it. Chopin must have wanted to split up so they could cut off possible routes of escape. Perhaps I can shed some light on the late officer's actions.
With more speculation?
Stones and glass houses there, Emma. With some helpful theorizing. Capped off with that hard evidence. Officer Chopin explicitly told his partner to stay behind. And the only reason he'd do that is if he thought it'd let them catch an escaping suspect.
Why would he think a suspect was escaping if he heard a noise upstairs?
He wouldn't. He'd only think a suspect was escaping if the noise he heard was...
Dumpster... The fire escape.
Okay, yeah.
The fire escape?
If you'd heard a fire escape slam, wouldn't you come running?
Damn it. Okay, it was a dumpster. Damn, man, I am just doing horrible tonight.
For a second I thought... Blah, blah, blah. Alright. Doubling down! A noise that came from the alley?
What kind of noise would that be?
A noise like the one I was treated to when Detective London clumsily shut the dumpster out there.
Hey now, it left my ears ringing too, you know?
What are you even talking about?
I'm talking about an exit plan. In other words, how the real culprit managed to flee the scene.
How does a dumpster lid relate to something imaginary suspect's great escape?
Uh, 1963, 172 minutes.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah. The only way to get from on the third floor to the street without going past two cops clearing the building would be going down the fire escape into the alley.
A fire escape that's broken.
So no one could climb up. But anyone could jump from it onto the dumpster below.
Oh, yeah.
It's called parkour, Emma. Look it up.
I can kind of see it.
That must be a dead pixel you're seeing, Your Honor. Were there boot prints on top of the dumpster? A dent in the lid?
Well, that's...
No? Of course not. So there's no proof, no reason at all to think that anyone jumped down onto it. And no reason for us to entertain this train of thought.
Oh, but I remember, because there was another set of open windows.
Mm-hmm.
That's... Damn it, that's... I've got nothing, except for that thing that Vaughn just said. Even though it's been... Now just imagining that Morgan's hearing us all the time, which explains so much.
Morgan, why do you keep talking to this person who's not in there? Who's Vaughn?
There's a lot to unpack there, Sarah, trust me. Even if there had been damage to the dumpster, I could never prove it was caused by a fleeing culprit. I'm thinking, Sarah.
I know. But might this not possibly be the time for you to stop thinking? And instead, flip the go board like you've told me to do before.
You're horribly misquoting me.
I was half expecting her to be like, what if I just killed you? Like,
Your Honor, please. Mulligan, she was really pissing me off. But... Emma says there's no proof that anyone fled the crime scene. But if there was proof of that, what would it look like? Proof that someone was in the room when the police arrived, but not when the police got to the third floor. They would have had to take the fire escape if Rogers never saw them, and they couldn't have taken the fire escape without first opening the window, like Vaughn said. Thank you, voice in my head. You're welcome. It's been bothering me since yesterday. I was sure the windows were closed when I left, but they've been open ever since the scene was secured. and I can't testify to that. The one time I know the truth and I want to get it out, but I can't admit it without screwing myself over.
Any luck?
Pardon the interruption, Your Honor. I have no objections at this time.
Then the witness may continue?
Please do. But rewind a bit first, if you could, since we got off topic. And don't spare any detail. Tell the court exactly what you saw, felt, and heard that night.
Of course, the witness is a trained officer of our city's prestigious police force.
Really indicting the cops there, Emma.
I was about to say, Emma, have you not looked at this guy? He'll gladly recount every minutia for us. Line by line. Oh, like, every detail?
Especially the irrelevant ones.
Sir, yes, sir.
I did get a little in my head just now. Better listen through the whole testimony at least once before I start looking for holes.
It was a quiet night, then my partner heard gunshots. We headed for the nearest Norn Orca hotspot and arrived to find the building dead quiet.
This is so much nicer now.
Mm-hmm. The door was locked. I checked the alley, but didn't see another way in. So Chopin shot the lock off through the handle and we entered. Followed some kind of loud music up the stairs, then there was a slam and my partner bolted upstairs. About a minute later, I heard a thud from upstairs and came running. To find the defendant standing over my partner's dead body.
Something stand out to you?
Yeah, my ears pricked up a bit.
The saying is perked up, is it not?
No.
What?
No, sir. It's twerked up.
There's a tumbleweed somewhere.
Yes. God damn, y'all lifting me in the dead here.
Actually, no, Zako. I have exactly what we need right here.
Bastard.
What? Let me focus. Oh, I was in Discord, so it wouldn't let me move forward. Okay. Oh yeah, the sound system. Fire escape. Front door.
I think I know which one. Now that we
Okay,
have
definitely
our
this one.
evidence in front. Yeah, I think it's the sound system on the... They didn't hear anything because if the music was going, the window wasn't open. Because it was loud, but they didn't hear it till they walked in.
Okay, so I'll call there.
Pshaw!
Yeah!
In the face.
How could you have arrived to find the place dead quiet when there was a sound system blaring on the top floor?
The witness must not have heard the sound system. This is a noisy city, even the lower wards.
But he did hear the music. He described it in his testimony just now.
Followed some kind of loud music up in stairs.
So the building was dead quiet when you were outside, but you could hear the music from the first floor?
Well, yeah, I heard the music pretty much as soon as we stepped inside.
Only after you stepped inside.
Yeah, sturdy door, I guess. Your Honor, the witness has established that the front door was very secure and tightly locked. There's nothing strange about it blocking out some amount of sound. But it blocked out, like, all the sound. Once the door was open, the music was booming.
The scene of the crime was a known Blue Blood property, yes? A safe house apartment complex of sorts, as I understand it. They must have made a number of modifications to the premises. That front door certainly looked like a newish addition. Maybe they redid the windows. Maybe they redid the windows, too.
I don't get it.
I don't mind stating it plainly, Your Honor. Also, according to El Robot, we all are getting several thousand years on the Punjin. That building has been thoroughly...
Soundproofed.
The building has been thoroughly soundproof, Your Honor.
You think the building was soundproofed?
I know it was. I experienced it myself, stepping out of the lower wards into a dingy nightclub and its dingy nightclub vibe. That would explain what the witness experienced, wouldn't it?
Perhaps, but...
But that wouldn't explain the buildings being dead quiet when they arrived. Not unless the windows next to the sound system was closed. Showed my hand a bit there. She knows what I'm gunning for.
Counselor. Asking the court to accept that the building happened to be soundproofed is not the flawless argument you're making it out to be. The window in question opens to the alley. Rogers could have easily missed the noise coming out of it.
Even though he already testified that he checked the alley before his partner shot the door open?
He might have merely neglected to mention that he heard music at the time.
You really want to keep impugning your, star witness, Emma?
Huh? Music in the alley? I mean, he's doing it himself. I would have noticed that kind of thing, right?
Fast on the uptake, this one.
I'm looking at this arcs from every angle I can, rotating cubes in my mind as fast as my programming will allow. And I'm still seeing a crime scene where the windows are open. What am I doing wrong? There's a trick to it. Try focusing on a single cube first, once you've got one spinning consistently.
Yes, Your Honor, the windows were found open. It's a contradiction.
The windows were closed when the officers arrived. But open by the time Rogers got to the 3rd floor. That means someone must have opened them.
Someone not currently on trial, Your Honor.
You should stretch before attempting mental gymnastics that intense, Counselor.
Is that your attempt to flirt, Emma?
You claim that the windows were originally closed. And only opened at the last moment as some mystery individual fled down into the alley. But we know Creek was standing in front of those windows when he was shot. And we can see where his blood landed on the sides of the windows that face into the room when open. If, as you claim, the windows were closed when he was shot, then his blood somehow ended up on the wrong side of the glass. Emma, do you not know how windows work?
That's...
Your theory is flawed, a far-flung fantasy with nothing other than Officer Rogers' poor hearing to support it.
Have you ever heard of dumb bitch juice?
All the actual evidence shows at the time of the murders, the windows were exactly as we found them, flung open.
Her logic isn't faulty, and I can't overturn with any given piece of evidence. But I can point out the flaw in how she's presented her evidence. Thank you for the advice about taking full advantage of the arcs, by the way. But trust me, there are some things that are best understood by visiting the crime scene in person.
What?
Helps keep you from getting flipped around.
I think we're gonna point at the window splatter because the way... I think what Emma is seeing, what she thinks the windows and how they open is different to how they actually are. So because she's so reliant on the ARC's data, it's like because she doesn't go to the crime scenes herself. It's like, oh,
All right. Apologies, Your Honor. I'm just confused. Why is Miss Rockford talking about those windows? As if they swing open.
ah, what are you talking about?
Those windows don't swing into the room. They pull to the side.
What?
Didn't you see the fingerprints found on the handle? One look should tell you which side of the glass faces indoors. Which side of the glass faces indoors. Funny, wasn't that in the arcs?
Ooh, this is some very chic interior design I'm seeing. Very, oh, I hate it here. Very wabi-sabi. So if the windows only slide parallel to the walls.
It wouldn't matter whether they were open or shut when Creek was shot. The blood would always end up on the same side.
Hey! I said I finally got the windows lined up right in the arcs. You didn't say that. At least, not out loud. Thank you for always listening, Sarah. But I said it just now, so whatever.
I think this might be a good stopping point since we
Yeah.
cleared up the matter with the windows and we've only got like 10 minutes left.
Yeah, let me do a quick save. Where are you? Save button. There we are. Oh, that's load. No.
No!
Alrighty, why don't you guys tell people where they can find you while I find someone for us to raid? Well, I think I already know because we got several friends online still.
You can find me at Zako Duo, all the places, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky, all that. I've been doing videos for the Gundam card game for daily for now. Things are in the works, I promise. They're just almost finished. Almost finished. But yeah, that's me.
Hi, hello. You can find me all over the internet at TechStixel. In about an hour, we should be locked and loaded and ready for another episode of The Lost and Found over on my channel. And then I am off on Monday because I have a work-related thing, so you won't see me streaming. But then we should be back to our regularly scheduled Kazder's Guide to the Cosmos on Friday, and then following that, we're back here on Sunday for more Those Who Wander.
Yep, and you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn, and similar to Sarah's, not sure if I'm doing anything Monday, but on Saturday we have more of Baldur's Gate 3 with the Saved by the Spell crew, as we might have unintentionally trebucheted a gnome. I'm sure that's fine. But aside from that, yes, you can find us in Those Who Wander, where we have a boat standoff. I'm sure there's maritime law in Cardicus.
I thought you were gonna end that as we have a boat stand. It was like, whoa.
I mean, we're already into real estate. Let's stop before we get into a small business. But with that said, we've got several friends doing art together, so we'll go right into our friend Blue Casanate and say hi to Skelly while we're there. So, what should our raid message be?
Schrodiindgers Jorts.
You beat me to it.
All right, I'll post that in the chat real quick for everybody because Schrodinger is one of those words. Well, it's a proper noun, but yeah.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think misspelling it's probably funnier.
Yeah. But thank you all for coming out. We'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. Thank you. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Boy.